Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call, please.
Alderman Barella.
Here.
Alderman Rucker.
Here.
Alderman Collins.
Here.
Alderman Morose.
Here.
Alderman Osteen.
Here.
Alderman Hoffman. Mayor Harmonson.
Here. All right. First thing on the agenda is the citizens' communication. This is a time set aside on the agenda for citizens and visitors to address the mayor and the board on any topic that is not a public hearing. For those here in person, speakers will be restricted to 3 minutes unless otherwise permitted. Minutes may not be donated or transferred from one speaker to another. Any questions or comments for the mayor and the board may also be sent to the city clerk at tberreth@osagebeach.org no later than 10 a.m. on the board meeting day, the first and third Thursday of each month. Submitted questions and comments may be read during the citizens' communications section of the agenda. The Board of Aldermen will not take any action on any item not listed on the agenda, nor will it respond to questions, although staff may be directed to respond at a later time. The mayor and the board welcome and value input and feedback from the public. Is there anyone here that would like to address the board? All right, seeing none, couple of changes unless there's any dispute from the board. We have first and foremost, we have a proclamation that was listed under new business, and we have some ladies here from the Daughters of American Revolution that, if you don't mind, would like to do that first. If any objection. All right, and if you'll do me the honor, I want to go ahead and read the email we received from them. It kind of tells a little bit why they're here. But Carrie Jacobs and I they're the Daughters of the American Revolution, which is a nonprofit, non-political, volunteer women's service organization. DAR members are dedicated to promoting historic preservation, education, and patriotism in communities across the nation. The tradition of celebrating the Constitution was started by the Daughters of the American Revolution in 1955. DAR petitioned Congress to set aside September 17th through the 23rd annually to be dedicated for the observance of Constitutional Week. The resolution was adopted by the U.S. Congress and signed into public law August 2nd, 1956 by President D. President D. Eisenhower. The aims of the celebration are to emphasize citizens' responsibilities for protecting and defending the Constitution, inform people that the Constitution is the basis for America's great heritage and the foundation for the way of life. Encouraging the study of the historical events which led to the framing of the Constitution in September 1787. It is with these goals in mind that we request you consider a proclamation for the Constitution Week and present it to the organization prior to the week of September 17th through the 23rd. We would love to attend the meeting for the presentation as we have done in prior years. Please let us know if you consider this request, and we certainly do. And we thank you for being here again this year. So the proclamation we have is Constitution Week. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardians of our liberties, embodies and principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law. And September 17, 2025 marks the 238th anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitution Convention. And it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate it. Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of the proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. I, Michael Harmonson, Mayor of Osage Beach, Missouri, State of Missouri, do proclaim Proclamation Week 17th through the 23rd. And ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals of framing of the Constitution had in 1787 by diligently protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guarding of our liberties. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the city of the Osage Beach to be affixed this 4th day of September 2025. So, thank you very much. Oh, you can come on back here. We're going to take a quick picture if folks don't mind. too.
Very nice, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You want to hold that?
Sure.
Got it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Nice meeting you.
Thank you, ladies.
We appreciate very much that you
Thank
do
you.
this, because
Thank you so much.
it's what we're all about. Thank you.
Thank you, folks. And you're welcome to stick around for the rest of the meeting if you like. All right, we have one other change to the agenda, and at this time, I'm going to turn this over to Chief Davis, please.
So, if I can have Officer Steve Wright come up. Chief.
Chief, microphone.
Okay. Officer Stephen Wright celebrated his 5-year anniversary as a police officer with us yesterday. His wife reminded me that his first day here, he gave his whole shift COVID, so, which entailed myself and one of our detectives and one of the other corporals covering the entire shift during Bike Fest for him. Officer Wright's currently assigned to Sergeant Morley's night shift, and he's one of our department's field training officers, so he's responsible with training our new officers, as well as one of our defensive tactics instructors. So we have his 5-year pin, a certificate from the city, and a plaque that we started giving all our new officers in recognition of 5 years of service. Officer Stephen Wright, thank you for your dedicated service above and beyond the call of duty to our citizens and visitors. You're greatly appreciated. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Yep. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, all of you. Nicest thing about being in this seat, you get a photo bomb all of those photo ops. So when you look at that picture, make sure you zoom into the guy sitting behind him. All right, we're going to move on now to our agenda. It's a consent agenda. If the board so desires, a consent agenda may be approved in a single motion. Has the board had the opportunity to look at the minutes from the meeting of Alderman meeting the 21st, 2025, and the bills list September 4th, 2025? Do I have any comments or questions on the consent agenda? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Alderman Morose, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Barella, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Consent agenda has been approved. All right, we have quite a list of unfinished business. We're going to start with Bill 25-70, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending Chapter 117, Open Meetings and Record Policies, Section 117.115, penalty for disclosure of closed records as set forth. This is the second reading. Is this you Tara?
No, that's me.
Nope.
This is you, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing further. Happy to answer any questions.
I don't know.
All right, comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve second reading?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Rucker, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Barella, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Osteen?
Yes.
Alderman Morose?
Yes.
Alderman Collins?
Yes.
Alderman Rucker?
Yes.
Alderman Barella? Yes. Alderman Hoffman?
All right, second reading, Bill 25-70 has passed. Next, we have Bill 25-71, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending Chapter 125, Human Resource Systems Personnel, Rules and Regulations, Section 125.120, Attendance and Leaves, B, Annual Vacation Leave as set forth. Are you going to take this one?
April.
April's going to take this, all right?
Well, Cole did it last week, but I didn't.
I'll fall on the sword again if you want.
Well,
Same comment as last time. Happy to answer any questions.
Takes a bunch of you to fill in for Maddie, huh?
All right.
actually,
All right, any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve second reading?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Collins, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Rucker, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Morose?
Yes.
Alderman Collins.
Yes.
Alderman Rucker.
Yes.
Alderman Barella.
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman. Alderman Osteen.
Yes.
All right, second reading passes. Next, we have Bill 25-71. Excuse me. Sorry, Mike.
72.
Yep. I'm still learning online stuff, folks, so bear with me for a second. Bill 25-72, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with multiple engineering, architectural, and related on-call service providers. This is the second reading. Any additional comments or questions from the board?
Yes.
Alderman Osteen.
In our previous discussions regarding this, we had some concerns on the entities or businesses that we had added to this list with no consideration to those that have previously provided services to the city. I thought we had agreed and passed an amendment that we were going to add Cochran Engineering
Cochran.
to this list.
It is. It's on your, if you
It's
look on
the-
your floor
on the
amendment,
amended?
there's a floor amendment attached to it.
Okay.
If you looked in the ordinance, there should be a floor amendment that in the center of it says Cochran.
Okay.
LOR.
That's right.
Right
All
in
right,
the
I see
center.
that. I do see that. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments or questions?
Yes.
Alderman Rucker.
I'm glad you brought that up, Bob, because I wanted to bring up to the board, it shows that we need to be attentive to the packet. I seen that it was missed on the blue sheet, but it's correct on the ordinance. And the ordinance always prevails. We found some things, number of months back that Tara and I were doing some research on, and the blue sheet, we both looked and said, oh, no, that's not right. Well, then we've seen that the ordinance was correct. So it's always the ordinance that prevails. So it is on the ordinance. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve second reading?
You need to approve the floor amendment first, and then we'll approve the floor amendment and vote on it then.
All right, do I have a motion to?
Yeah, 'cause you have to-
Didn't they vote last time? We approved the floor amendment at the last
No,
meeting.
you didn't. You approved the ordinance. This is the floor amendment with Cochran on it. So now you have to approve the floor amendment and then do the final approval on the bill itself. We didn't do a floor amendment last
Yes,
time.
we did.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, it would not hurt if we did it now anyway, would it?
I mean, you can, if you don't want to do it, but I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
All right,
I think best practice would be to do the floor amendment.
all right.
Because we didn't put it in writing. It was, I think there was an oral motion to, and I'm going off memory, but there was an oral motion to modify it.
Right.
But. We did that. But we and then- approved. And then once we approved that, then we voted to But best approve practice that would be amendment. best practice would be to approve the final, Okay. I
On
just
the-
think it would be
on-
best.
yeah, On the advice of our city attorney, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the floor amendment, adding Cochran to the bill.
Motion to approve.
Alderman Osteen, is there a second?
Second.
Alderman Morose. All right, now do I have a motion to approve Bill 25?
Need to vote on that.
I'm sorry, all those in favor, roll call vote, please.
You can do voice vote on this
Voice
one.
vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now, do I have a motion to approve Bill 25-72 as amended?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Rucker, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Morose, roll call vote, please.
Collins, yeah. Alderman Hoffman. Alderman Barella.
Yes.
Alderman Rucker.
Yes.
Alderman Collins.
Yes.
Alderman Morose.
Yes.
Alderman Osteen.
Yes.
All right, Bill 25-72 is approved, passed as amended. Next, we have Bill 25-73, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending Chapter 115, Officers and Employees, Section 115.010, Definitions, Section 115.410, Evaluation of Certain Appointed Officials, Section 115.500, Appointment, Term, Qualifications, Section 115.510, Duties, Chapter 125, Human Resource System, Personnel, Rules and Regulations, Section 125.020, Definitions, Chapter 135, Finance and Purchasing, Section 135.010, Definition as set forth. City Attorney Cole Bradbury.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. Nothing further. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Collins, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Rucker, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Morose.
Yes.
Alderman Osteen?
Yes.
Alderman Collins?
Yes.
Alderman Rucker?
Yes.
Alderman Barilla?
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman?
All right, Bill 25-73 also passes second reading. Next, we have Bill 25-74, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending Chapter 100 General Provisions, Section 100.220 Design Guidelines, Section 100.230 Fees as set forth. City Attorney Cole Bradbury.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. Nothing further to add. Happy to answer any questions.
This is a floor amendment.
And this is a floor amendment.
Comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the floor amendment.
Motion to approve the floor amendment. Quite an education tonight.
I would approve this floor amendment.
All right, Alderman Rucker, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Osteen, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, the amendment passes. Now, we have Bill 25-74. Do I have a motion to approve as amended?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Osteen, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Collins, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Hoffman? Alderman Barilla?
Yes.
Alderman Rucker?
Yes.
Alderman Collins?
Yes.
Alderman Morose?
Yes.
Alderman Osteen?
Yes.
All right, Bill 25-74 passes. Next, we have Bill 25-75, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending Chapter 245, Section 245.040, Park Reservation and User Fees, Section 210.2250, Permit to Discharge Code for various purposes as set forth. Second reading. Parks and Recreation Director, Manager, Barry Gregory.
I have nothing further to add, Mayor, and do recommend approval.
Comments or
Floor
questions?
amendment also.
Is it also a floor amendment?
Pardon me?
This is also a floor amendment.
This is another floor amendment. Do I have a motion to approve the amendment as amended? Alderman Barilla, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Alderman Collins. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, now do I have a motion to approve as amended, second reading, Bill 25-75?
Motion approved.
Alderman Rucker, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Osteen, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Collins?
Yes.
Alderman Morose?
Yes.
Alderman Osteen?
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman? Alderman Barilla?
Yes.
Alderman Rucker?
Yes.
All right, Bill 25-75 passes as amended. Next, we have Bill 25-76, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Dogwood Animal Shelter. City Attorney Cole Bradbury.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. At this time, I actually am asking to table this second reading. Yesterday, we got some edits to the contract, nothing major, but the Dogwood's attorney finally got back to us with edits to the agreement. We need a little bit of time to work through those. There's nothing significant, but since it only came in yesterday, we didn't have time to get it all turned around fast enough, so we just asked for a little more time to sort that out. So I'd ask for a motion to table.
Alderman Osteen, do I have a second? Alderman Collins.
Yes.
Roll call vote, please.
On the table?
On the table. Oh, you just need to pass.
Voice. You just need a voice vote on the
All right.
table.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor of tabling?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Bill 25-76 has been tabled. Next meeting probably, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next we have Bill 25-77, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with United Signs to install digital sign on the welcome sign along Highway 54 for an amount not to exceed $93,000. Second reading. Public Works Director Jeff Fisher, do you have anything?
Nothing to add, Mayor. Thank you.
Any other comments from the board or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Alderman Morose, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Barilla, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Rucker?
Yes.
Alderman Collins?
Yes.
Alderman Barilla?
Yes.
Alderman Morose?
Yes.
Alderman Osteen?
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman?
All right, Bill 25-77 also passes. Looking forward to that. Next, we have Bill 25-78, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending ordinance number 24-93, adopting the 2025 annual operating budget, requesting additional funds to cover transportation, equipment, repairs, expenses. Again, Public Works Director Jeff Fisher.
Nothing to add, Mayor. Thank you.
Comments from the board, questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Rucker, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Barella. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Osteen?
Yes.
Alderman Barilla?
Yes.
Alderman Morose?
Yes.
Alderman Rucker?
Yes.
Alderman Collins?
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman?
All right, Bill 25-78 also passes. Last item under old business is Bill 25-79, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending ordinance number 24.93, annual operating budget, requesting additional funds to be allocated to Osage Beach Parkway expenditure account in the amount not to exceed $1,425,000. Second reading, Public Works Director Jeff Fisher.
Nothing to add, Mayor. Thank you.
Comments from the board, questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Collins, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Rucker, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Hoffman? Alderman Osteen?
Yes.
Alderman Morose?
Yes.
Alderman Barilla?
Yes.
Alderman Rucker?
Yes.
Alderman Collins?
Yes.
All right, Bill 25-79 also passes. Under new business, we're going to start off with a presentation for the 2026 Parks and Recreation 1010 Capital, Parks and Recreational Manager, Eric Gregory.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the board. This is our capital asset heads up that I'm going to request on my budget. This is not necessarily set in stone. Still waiting on bids to come back, and there may be things that change.
Hey, Eric, if you don't mind, there you go. Thank you.
I can barely hear you.
Perfect.
You hear me now?
There we go.
Okay. One thing on the list that I have included that I did not include is I do plan on putting the Phoenix Park Pavilion on the as my number one, and I did not include it on here because I was waiting for the list of engineers to be approved so I could request updated designs. So that will be on the budget. Just letting you know, it will not be what was proposed last year. It will be significantly cheaper. I think something simple is needed at Phoenix, but just a heads up on that. The next thing you'll see is a dog park flushing bathroom. Just for the board's information, we put a car counter at the dog park parking lot, and year to date, we've had 39,000 people use the dog park, and that is not an exaggeration. Just in June and July, we had over 6,000 people each month use the dog park. It is that popular. So therefore, I have a portable toilet there right now. It works, but the dog park is absolutely our most popular asset in either of our parks right now. And I'd like to see it keep improving, and I think a flushing bathroom is very much needed. This is a bid from CXT Company. It's a precast bathroom. They bring it in, they take care of the crane, we just have to prep the site. The sewer department will be installing and connecting sewer to it if approved, and I think this would be a significant improvement to the dog park. Next thing I have on here is our Toro Workman utility vehicle. We currently have one of these pieces of equipment, and it is the most heavily used piece of equipment we have at City Park. It is a beast. It's four-wheel drive. It's diesel. It has a dump bed, and it's almost 10 years old now. So they're not cheap, but we are going to request another one and possibly surplus the old one, because even the used ones go for a significant amount of money to offset the cost. Next thing on the list is additional surveillance cameras for the city park. We currently have 7 surveillance cameras that were installed several years ago. They're mostly at the entrance, our main parking lot, and then around the concession stand pavilion. That's where we usually get the highest concentrations of people. It's a very good tool for law enforcement in case we have problems. Knock on wood, we haven't had any major problems thus far. But what I would like to do is get an additional camera installed at the playground area, on the soccer fields, and especially the dog park and the maintenance shop. We have significant amount of money that was spent at the dog park. We have 3 brand-new trucks for the parks and a lot of expensive equipment in our maintenance shop. And again, luckily, we haven't had any problems, but this would be a good tool in case there is, and just to monitor things. I am going to ask for a separate bid to maybe relocate some of our existing cameras that I don't necessarily think we need as many around the concession stand, and maybe we just put 2 down, which would be much less. So I'll have that updated whenever I get that back. Next thing on the list is new holiday light displays and electrical upgrades for City Park. I would like to see the holiday lights come back to City Park, but I would like to see it done correctly. And right now, our electrical at City Park is not suitable to do this. We have to have dedicated pedestals and electric lines ran. We kind of cobbled things together with extension cords in the past, and it just wasn't done right. And our lights were getting old, so we need new light displays, and we need electrical upgrades at City Park to do it right. And what I'm proposing is purchasing new light displays out of next year's budget. We continue to have our City Hall Santa event this year and next year, and then I'll request additional funding for new lights for the 2027 budget, and the goal is to bring holiday lights back to City Park Christmas 2027. But I want to do it right. Next thing I have on the list is the current contractor that we're using for chip sealing around the city. I reached out and got a bid to chip seal the lakefront property, and they came back at $28,500, which was very reasonable. I'm sorry, they came back less than that, but we do need to do some work to the road before it can be chip sealed. We need to get some dedicated ditches and probably some drainage. So this is a heavily used area of the city park. It's a hidden gem. It's beautiful, and this would be the first step into improving the area. The master plan does recommend this. It actually recommends putting a large pavilion back there, which would be huge. It's a beautiful part of a city park, and this would be very much appreciated by park visitors. Next thing we have on there is our baseball fields at City Park are used more than Peanut Park. We have a batting cage at Peanut Park. We do not have one at City Park. And so this is something that we would build in-house, and it's very much used. We already have a spot picked out. The next few things we have on here, a lot of the picnic tables we have at both parks are original. They're 15 to 20 years old. They're getting worn. We need some new picnic tables. These picnic tables are priced from Missouri Vocational Enterprises, and that's about the best price that I found, and they are metal tables, and I'm asking for 10 at a cost of $6,000. The last thing we have on the list is one more carport for our maintenance shop. You see the picture there. When I came here 3.5 years ago, all of our equipment was sitting out in the weather. We had no cover, so since then, we've purchased a shipping container and then 3 carports. We have 2 of the carports end to end, and then we have one there on the side. I'd like to add one more, and we'll be able to get all of our equipment out of the weather and help retain the lifespan. Grand total, $256,500, but again, this could change. So that's all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
Alderman Rucker.
Back to your flushing bathroom, have you considered a dog water fountain? Since you're going to have water there and it's a dog park, there'd be a place to let the dog come up and get a drink?
We have frost-free spigots at the entrance to the dog park. They already have water there. Yeah, and there's bowls there that people use, or they bring their own bowls. But we can certainly add that to the side of the bathroom at a later time. It's
That'd seem to be appropriate for the
yes.
dog park.
But yeah, there is already water there for the visitors. I was looking at saving as much money as I can. This is a bare bones precast bathroom, and we can add things to it later that are much cheaper than what the company can supply.
Okay.
Alderman Collins.
We got an email earlier today, I don't know if you were copied on it, about parks, that a resident was concerned that there aren't speed bumps. And with the popularity of the dog park, there's, I guess, a lot of people racing through to go back there. Is that anywhere on your plans?
I replied to it, sent all the board. Yeah. Basically, in May, when the road was paved, we were going to monitor it to see, okay, are they obeying the speed limit? And in the email, I indicated for the most part, people are, but that's not to say, we've had, we try to tell people to slow down, and police department are very good about making pass-throughs and checking on things. But at the same time, we're not there after, our workday's done. And you know how teenagers are, so I can understand the concern. I'm not opposed to putting in speed bumps, and I plan on moving forward with it if nobody has the objection to the unexpected cost. You're going to talk probably $2,000 because
Okay.
the road is very wide, so you'll have to put like 3 of them. In reference to the fence, that's going to be a lot of money. And if we put speed bumps in, I don't necessarily know that we need the fence, but if the board wants to go in that direction, then we can do that.
I personally think it's worth looking into. Like the writer of the email said, if you got kids running out chasing a ball and running between cars, then it definitely creates a dangerous situation. So certainly worth looking at, just my opinion.
I can reach out and get bids.
Any other comments or questions? Alderman Rose.
I had a couple of them, excuse me. Eric, this, workman vehicle, this price, is that a new one? Have you priced some used ones?
I have not priced used ones, but that gives me pause because you don't know if you're getting somebody else's problems. And again, this is the most heavily used piece of equipment, but I can price a used one. If that's the board's preference. It's not going to hurt anything.
I mean, I don't know, I just thought,
I've been told even used that they'll sell for $15,000 to $20,000. So we could surplus ours and use that to offset the cost of this.
okay. And the lighting display, I presume, if we would go ahead with it, that you have provisions for storage? Because that's quite a lot.
For storage for the new lights, yes, we store them in the building adjacent to the Public Works building. So the street department's...
Public Works building?
Yes.
We got a room?
Yes.
Because I know we have others displays that we've been storing.
We surplused a lot of old lights recently, so there is room. And then some of our newer light displays we have up on the wall of our maintenance shop as well. So
Okay. And the picnic tables, how many do we have right now? I mean,
30 to 40.
we do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There's 8 to 10 just at the pond shelter, and then we have 8 to 10 at the concession pavilion, and others spread out around both parks.
okay. The batting cage is number 1 in my book,
Okay?
absolutely. And the other, the extra carport, I know you desperately need that. And I'm not against the other, I just wanted some question about it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Alderman Barilla.
I was just curious if there was any plans in putting a camera down to like where the water is, because if you're gonna pave that, I mean, it gets used down there, and that's probably an area that maybe we could move one from the concessions down there if you're thinking that there's not as many needed there.
The problem is there has to be line of sight because they install a receiver and it sends a signal and it bounces. So it's going to have to be bounced from the control box near the concession stand all the way down there. And I'm not a camera installer. I'm sure it would be possible, but the lakefront kind of does this. Now, that's not to say we couldn't put a data camera, surveillance camera. you know, that people use to monitor their property. That's easy and cheap, honestly. So,
Alderman Rucker.
Yeah, I want to come back to the speed bump and the fence. I just assumed that, based on your email, Rebecca, you were going to ask to speak about that at the next meeting. Are we still going to look at a discussion? Because there's some discussion that I want to have about that. Is that appropriate now, Mayor, or do we want to make that as a discussion point at the next meeting?
Well, this time, I saw the email as well, so my suggestion is that Eric can give some quotes and we use that discussion item at the September 18th meeting, and we at least have some numbers that we can look at.
just to be clear, do you want fencing between the soccer fields and the roadway, just along the roadway, or do you want fencing around the entire soccer fields?
That's one of the things I wanted to discuss.
In my head, was just along the roadway.
Okay?
Other people might have a different opinion, but I was just along the roadway to stop people from running into
I
traffic.
think that'd be sufficient.
Well, if it's not a lot of work, let's start there, and then we'll, we can put it on for discussion item next board meeting, then we can go further.
Can do that?
Fair
Thank
enough.
you. I'll hold my thoughts till then.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
That's okay.
Appreciate it. And way to go on that dog park. I tell you what, that's a great thing. I see people down there and I don't know, weekends, they're busier than during the week, I assume. During events, do you see a lot of people more, I mean, big things like the shootout, do you see a lot of extra people down there, or do they stay away from there?
We have a lot of regulars, like people go to the dog park not only for the dogs, but just to socialize. Like this, and it's used in the morning a lot. It's just a constant flow of traffic throughout the day. And then on the weekends, the parking lot's full all day if it's a nice day. I knew it was going to be busy, but was not expecting this. So hopefully we get some rain in the future and we can bring the green the grass back up. But everybody loves it. Nothing but good comments.
I was just wondering if the locals that maybe don't enjoy being on the water during the weekends, if they go out in droves during the weekend with their dogs, I'm guessing.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, lots of positive comments. It's great for the city. So,
Thank you very much, Eric. All right, next we're going to move on to a presentation from our airport operating capital fiscal year 2026 with our airport manager, Ty Dinsdale, please.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. My stuff's not quite as exciting as the parks. Hope everybody's sitting down. I'm probably going to have a refueler in the budget request this year, possibly two. Like Eric says, these are moving targets, so this is not set in stone, but I'll at least have a request for one refueler this year. The next request I will have, as you all know, we've started the new point of sale system at both airports. Both airports are live now with the new point of sale, and it's really working out great, and I hope the accounting department thinks so as well. I was hesitant to buy a new desktop computer and monitor dedicated to the point of sale until I wanted to make sure everything was working as we thought it was going to, and since we've got the go-ahead on that, I'd like to add a new desktop computer and monitor for each airport just for the standalone point-of-sale system that we're using right now. And the other thing I was going to request is possibly purchasing vending machines for each terminal building. We currently do not have any vending services at the airports. In the past, we've gone through 3, I think, different vendors that have tried to supply vending machines for us. Leasing finds kind of a problem because it's so far out. A lot of the vendors didn't want to put any machines out there. They would at Grand Glaze. Some of the vendors in the past ended up pulling their machines because of lack of sales. I tried to tell them that a lot of the lack of sale was because of the equipment was faulty 90% of the time. You know, this is not a huge revenue source, but yet we're still trying to provide a service, and I feel like that if it was under our control, we could maintain the machine, or, you know, we would have a better better service for the customers anyway. But that's pretty short and sweet, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
All right, comments from the board. Alderman Osteen.
I've got a few, Ty, and these are more or less suggestions which may be applicable to other departments.
Sure.
It all goes back to the information on the blue sheet and giving the board more information on these requests. For instance, number 3, regarding the desktop monitors, et cetera, it would be beneficial if you had listed more information, i.e. you had contacted Michael Bean with our IT department, verified what that cost was going to be, et cetera, just to give us more information. How old the systems you're working with right now are, is just to give us a better understanding of these requests.
Sure.
The same with the vending machines. 5,000 per airport, I see that, but are these vending machines that we would contract with a third party to service, and how often that would be? Is it something that we're going to look to service ourselves? Just more information, just to really, as we go line item by line item moving forward in our budget discussions, the more information we have, the more likely we are to have a better understanding or approve those type of purchases.
Sure.
So it's more just informational for you and other department heads of give us more info. Don't just say, I need a new computer, it's going to be $1,000. Give us more info on the age of the existing one. Why do we need this new computer? Is this signed off on, or where did you get your numbers from? You consulted with Michael Bean, and he
Right.
said this would be the cost. So just suggestions for you, and that's all I had.
Alderman Collins.
How often does a refueler have to be replaced?
I've been with the city for 16 years, and we've purchased 2.
So this will be the third one in
Correct.
17 years?
Correct. We purchased one 2 years ago that is already 18 years old.
You're talking
And I-
about the jet or that
Either?
one? Okay.
And I purchased another one last year that's 12 years old.
How many do we have at any given point in time?
We should have 2 at each airport, one for each avgas and then one for jet fuel.
Okay.
So we should have 4 total.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Rucker.
In reference to the fuel truck, I want to spend a little bit of time on that. Currently, our fuel trucks are all in the 80s. I'm ashamed of them. If I was a pilot and I pulled into that airport and I seen the age of those trucks, I wouldn't dare want to put fuel in my plane that my livelihood depended upon. We have had fuel trucks on the budget for a number of years, and we buy used ones. I know that the airport people do the best they can, and I know those systems are tried to be kept as best as they can, but they're from the 80s. That's how old these trucks are. I believe 3 of them are in the 80s and 1 might be in the 90s, Ty? I didn't do my homework, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've got 3 in the 80s right now. And then the 2 newest one's a 2007 and the other one is a 2013.
So we have at least a couple of them, but they're old. And I even made the suggestion to Devin that we should look for used. And the only reason, and I want to make this clear, the only reason I'm advocating buying some used ones is because we're behind the 8 ball. We're behind the 8 ball on these things. And I would love to be able to go out and buy brand new ones, but we are behind the 8 ball on these things. So my suggestion was to try to buy 2 used ones rather than 1 new one and start to get this fleet of our fuel trucks back up where they need to be. So I'm a very strong advocate of those fuel trucks. I don't know if anybody noticed it or not, but of course I did. I do a deep dive every July into our budget. I don't know if the board really looked at the report that comes out every month, but look at the fuel sales. That's a big moneymaker for us at these airports. What's our fuel sales down? 50%, 60%?
Yeah, probably at least 50. Yeah.
That's how far they're down. And one of the reasons they're down is because the inability to be able to fuel planes without dragging a hose across their wing because the tanks or the trucks aren't working correctly. And sometimes the trucks can't be taken out to the plains. We don't have an adequate system down there for our fueling trucks because we, the board, over the last number of years, continually say, no, too much, no, too much, buy a used one, buy a used one. This is ridiculous to have the fleet like that at an airport. We have got to do something. We have got to bite the bullet. We're starting to get the same way with our fleet of all the rest of our fleet. We've been pushing back. And we're going to start getting the same way with that. We had a problem with the fleet on our motors that had to spend. We've already spent the maintenance budget already for the year, again, because we were like, oh, let's push it off. Let's push it off. Let's get 15 years out of these vehicles. When we were doing 7 to 10 years out of equipment with 100,000 miles, we weren't having the issues, and we also didn't have to have the reserve cars. That's one of the reasons we reduced reserve police cars a number of years ago, because we upped the quality of our equipment and the years, they were newer and were lesser miles, so we didn't need extra reserves just sitting there waiting for the other ones to fail. So we have got to get around, quit pushing this stuff off, and I totally support it. And again, only reason I support the used ones is because we've got to jumpstart this program, especially with these fuel trucks. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Alderman Collins.
The estimates that are on here, are they for new ones or used ones?
For the fuel trucks, no, those are for used.
Okay. Do you know?
You could add probably $80,000 on top of that for a new one.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? April.
I just wanted to remind the board, Devin had directed staff to just be on these pre-budget presentations, very high level, just to give you some initial exposure before we go into the budget meetings. Naturally, during the budget workshops, they are going to have all their ducks in a row, all the details, but this is just supposed to be very high level, just to give you some initial exposure to what's coming.
All right, thank you for the clarification. All right, thank you very much, Ty. All right, next we're going to move on to an agenda item, Bill 25-80, the ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, repealing Chapter 625, massage establishments, Article 1 in general, Article 2, business license, Article 3, massage therapist permit as set forth. This is the first reading. City Attorney Cole Brevery.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. I think the blue sheet kind of says it all, but Tara came to me a few weeks ago with a new massage studio that wanted to open in town and said, we have this entire chapter on massage studios. Do I really have to gather all this information? And I said, well, why are we gathering all of this? And so we enlisted our resident massage expert to go through it. And she and I both know a little bit about licensing from very different points in our careers, but we both agreed that the state does a phenomenal job of licensing and investigating and managing massage establishments, and that's not really a business the city needs to be in, nor do we have the expertise to be in. So we don't treat most other businesses like this, and this is essentially just looks like a copy and paste from the state regulations from whenever this was enacted, and we just didn't feel that this was necessary or a good use of staff time to regulate, so we are proposing to repeal the entire chapter. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right. Alderman Rucker.
Is there sales tax charge on that service?
Only if they sell product. But if they sell products in there, yes, but no, they do have to have a business license. We're just not going to regulate.
Okay, so
regulation.
we still are going to have a way to make
Yeah.
sure our sales tax is still covered.
They still have to get a regular business
Yeah.
license. This just stops us from having to have a public hearing and send the police chief and the
Right.
building official and all of them out.
The only other question I have, Cole, is somewhere should we state that they have to have a state sales license, or sales, not sales, excuse me, a permit from the state? Should we state that?
I've got a solution coming for that shortly.
Okay.
But yes, so that's actually something we talked about as part of this. In fact, I think it's not on this agenda, it'll be on the next agenda. But
Okay,
yes.
as long as you're,
Yeah, so short version is, I mean, I think arguably, if somebody comes in and says, I would like a business license for my cocaine distributorship, I think we can deny that because it's illegal, but I've got a better solution coming for that next meeting.
Okay, that's fine, just as long as you're going to identify that situation.
Alderman Osteen.
If the city is going to repeal the ordinances regarding this type of business, shouldn't we still have an ordinance on record regarding for these type of businesses, we are deferring to state regulation and governance, as opposed to having nothing on record that basically gives us a direction to say regarding these type of businesses, this is who we are deferring to?
So by having nothing on record, we are deferring to, I mean, that's the effect of repealing these. And I think you'll also see in the ordinance that's coming in 2 weeks, that we're going to specifically incorporate some the state and federal requirements, approach to business licenses, to say, look, if something, here's how we're going to address those situations where, we're not, for instance, so spoiler alert, if somebody walks in and says, I would like to have a massage parlor, we're not obligated to, the staff is not obligated to go hunt down to see if they have that. TAR doesn't need to say, well, gee, is that a licensed thing? The state of Missouri has over 200 boards and commissions. There are professions that you have no idea are regulated, and it's not our job to hunt those down. But what we're going to propose is that if we receive information that somebody is operating illegally, that we should investigate and address that appropriately. So when somebody walks in and says, again, I would like a business license for my cocaine distributorship, we can figure that one out. But if somebody walks in and says, I am a professional engineer, we're not going to require anyone to check the status of their PE or check to see if the lawyer has an active law license, that kind of thing, before we issue them a business license. So.
Is there any downside to us actually having an ordinance that I suggested on our books? It seems to err on the side of caution. We would have nothing to lose as opposed to having nothing and saying, well, in that case, it just goes to the state governance.
If I could ask you to hold that question for 2 weeks, I think the answer's coming.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions on this? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve first reading?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Collins.
Second.
Alderman Barella. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, first reading, Bill 25-80 passes. Next, we have Bill 25-81, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending Chapter 610, Peddlers and Solicitors, Section 610.170, additional requirements for food trucks as set forth. I'm going to turn this over to Alderman Kevin Rucker.
Yes, Mayor and members of the board, this basically is an approach to making our ordinance, as far as I'm concerned, legal. Presently, this is not saying I'm opposed to food trucks or in favor of food trucks. It's not the issue here. So don't get yourself hung up on where you stand with food trucks, but it's the fact of discriminating. We are discriminating, in my opinion, against a class of business that's in our town or wants to be in our town, because we are putting regulations against them that we don't put against any other business that wants to set up and sell merchandise from a mobile, non-structured facility. And that's basically what we're doing here by removing this. Like I said, it's not about if you feel there should or shouldn't be food trucks. It's about being fair to all of them. And I believe this is not being fair to them. It's not being fair to that kind of business. And can go into greater detail if there needs to be, but I know I've talked to a number of you about it, and it's just trying to be fair to all, and we're not at this point. By removing this, we will be. So, thank you.
Comments from the board? Alderman Osteen.
I agree with everything Alderman Rucker just stated regarding the food truck ordinance that we have on record. I have always been opposed to the distance requirements that we included as part of this ordinance. I felt like it restricted the, I guess, fair trade, fair business mindset that I had, that we were restricting businesses from conducting businesses because it could infringe on other businesses. It just seemed to be we were in a constant loophole on competition. And I think by removing the distance requirements, I think we kind of free ourselves up as a city to not be viewed as Big Brother who's watching over their shoulders and trying to restrict their ability to do business. I was always opposed to the distance requirements from day one, so I fully support this.
Alderman Collins.
So I've gone back and forth. I talked to both of you. I've gone back and forth on this all week because I do feel like we owe a loyalty to permanent businesses, the businesses that are here year-round, every day, all the time. But I absolutely understand that we also shouldn't restrict the rights of property owners just because they're adjacent to a bar or a restaurant. I'm not really sure what the solution is. Like I said, I talked to a lot of people this week, a couple of whom surprisingly are friends of mine that have food trucks, both for more than a decade. And early in the conversation I had with each one of them, they said, yeah, if I had a brick and mortar restaurant, I wouldn't want a food truck parked in front of my business. So they were very, very understanding of that. You say that we're discriminating against people. I think that we should have the same restrictions for any other transient business as opposed to permanent ones, and maybe restrict them to festivals, street fairs, special events, and have a permitting type for that. If somebody wants to, if I want to have food trucks on my property, maybe we need to establish that type of business, that I could open a business for a food truck garden, a vendor garden on my property, to where adjacent businesses don't have a say in it. But I think that at the end of the day, we owe a loyalty to the businesses that are here all day, every day. One question that I did have is, I remember a conversation previously that we had a lot of difficulty with the fall festival with food trucks paying their sales taxes. Is that, am I misremembering a conversation? Have we had issues with collecting sales tax from transient type businesses?
When we had the Food Truck Coalition here, yes, there was a problem receiving sales tax out of all, I think there was, 35 trucks here, 32? Oh, 50? Two of them. And only 2 food trucks out of all of those paid their sales tax. So when they wanted to come around the second year, I put put tighter restrictions on making them produce no tax dues, showing us that where their vendor site is and that they're gonna collect sales tax for the city of Osage Beach. That's when talks kind of went south, and that's when they moved it to Camdenton. So it's definitely, it's not a hard process to do. All they do is fill out a form, put in the location of where they're located, and then they pay the sales tax there. I even gave them up to some 3 months, some 6 months, depending on their time on what their tax fee schedule was. And I checked after that, and again, only 2 people paid out of the whole thing. So that's why we have issues with food trucks. They pay where their commissary is. Some are in Bolivar, whatever. I brought an example of one that, they're in Lake Ozark, but you fill out this form, and on the back page, you fill out Hatchery Road, gives you a number, you put in your sales tax, and it tells you how much you paid at Osage Beach. It's not a difficult process, can be added at any time through the Department of Revenue. They just choose not to do it. Those are the issues with food trucks.
Okay, and I assume that that's for any kind of transient, and we're saying food trucks, but any kind of transient vendor that comes in?
We only right now we have 9 current food trucks and 1 vendor peddler.
Okay.
And since I've been here, almost going on 7 years, 8 years, something I don't know, I've never sold a vendor peddler fee. And this is the first one I've ever done for a peddler.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll say again, I think that we need to keep our loyalty with the businesses that are here all the time that are paying the city their sales tax, and limit peddlers, food trucks, any kind of transient and we can make it the same for all of them, but just have a limit for any transient vendor, limit what they can do within the city limits.
I'm going to provide a little history here real quick, Alderman Osteen, if you don't mind. We got a couple new board members from when I was first elected. One of the things I did was kind of revitalize the Citizens Advisory Committee, because that was one thing when I ran that some of the Food Truck Coalition had said, hey, the fee was too much, and so formed a Citizens Advisory Committee, and that was the very first thing they looked at was the food trucks and the price. And I don't remember all the years and dates, but back in the early 80s, the city of Osage Beach made them peddlers and defined them food truck peddlers, and $500 every 6 months, and that was something that was voted on by the public of the city of Osage Beach. So it's not something the aldermen could change. They could not change that because the city of Osage Beach voted on it. So to do that, we came up with a different license and tried to appease the food trucks and so forth. And the Citizens Advisory Committee, they worked for weeks and weeks and weeks. And one of the people on that two are local business owners and have the brick and mortars. And they were part of that committee. And I was a little frustrated at the time because they came up with a recommendation for the board and provided it to the board, and the board tore it apart and didn't like it. And so they felt at the time was why'd we do all this work. And one of the things that Tara printed for me today, I asked her if she could find out how that vote went for how far away. And this is on November 6, 2023. Without mentioning names, one of the Citizens Advisory Committee that is a business owner made a motion of 200 feet from the property line. He was a business owner, just, hey, don't want to not let businesses compete, but I'd rather have not parking lot over from me. That motion was seconded by another business owner, and the vote failed with 7 nays. Immediately following, that same member made a motion, he recommended to the board, 200 feet from the property line unless waived by the property owner, meaning, fine, okay, you don't want to limit what your neighbor can do, so with the authorization from your neighbor, then you could go ahead and put it, but he wanted at least 200 feet away. So that's how it came about on here. And so that's where it came from. That was the Citizens Advisory Committee suggestion at the time, and that's why it's here. So, Alderman Osteen.
Obviously, we've had lots of discussions about the food trucks, but the food trucks are just a linchpin for a whole Pandora's box of transient vendors and farmers markets, which is not a rabbit hole I think the board should go into. Look at the farmers market that's at the outlet mall, which of course that's very transient as well based on what's happening there. But if Deerbergs were to complain, or Walmart that their tomato sales are down because there's somebody selling farm fresh tomatoes at the farmer's market, does that mean we suddenly start regulating where those can go and the distances between those type of businesses and food vendors? And then we go into jewelry sales and clothing sales. It's just, like I said, it's a rabbit hole. And the food trucks was just the linchpin on all of this, which is why I was opposed to even trying to do any governing, because I feel like now it's going to be a domino effect of multiple ordinances and discussions we will have, because unfortunately there are always going to be roadside vendors of some sort at the lake. So that's all.
Mayor.
Alderman Broad.
Alderman Hoffman couldn't be here. He did call and just want me to voice his opinion on this, and he is not in favor of removing the 200 feet. He did want to keep some of the businesses, the brick and mortars in mind, so that was his opinion. My opinion is I don't believe that another business should have that power over another business, and so I don't feel like that it does need to get removed. I think that most of the time they act and they reach out and they make sure that they're, in good relationship with their neighbors so that they don't have issues anyway when they're trying to set up different places. And there is issues with trying to do the same thing for everyone because there are brick and mortars that have food trucks. So, you can't just do that. And I think the real issue to all that is that, like Tara said, a lot of them are paying their sales tax to where their commissary is or where their address is, and we don't end up getting it anyway. So, you know, I think maybe some point in other time, a citizen advisory committee could be, I don't know why it was dissolved anyway, but I would like to see that come back to fruition. But maybe that would be something that they could look and say, well, we charge a lesser amount for residents that are Osage Beach versus ones that aren't, because we know that those sales tax more than likely aren't going to get paid to us anyway. So that's my comments on that.
Alderman Rucker.
Well, I said I had some other information, and I just didn't know if I was going to have to go and get on this soapbox, but I will. So if we're going to go down what Alderman Collins is kind of suggesting, that, you know, we need to do something about our brick and mortar restaurants, let's do something about all of our brick and mortar people. Okay?
I agree.
And that's the problem. This one is only treating one. That's why that's the reason I approach this by making this ordinance fair and removing the food truck from it. Now, if you want to go down and keep all of the vendors out that don't have a brick and mortar facility here, that's a complete different argument, a complete different situation to deal with. Because think about what you're doing. You're not going to allow the guy that comes into town and has the tool truck and sets up the wholesale tool sales. You're not going to allow the vendor that comes into town that has the blanket sales and the rug sales. You're not going to allow the fruit stands. What about the cookie sales from the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts? I mean, you're just cutting all that stuff off because they don't have brick and mortar structures that they're selling from. And that's not the intent of what I want to do here at all. I just want to make everybody on a level playing field. And right now, all those people that I mentioned don't have to take and worry about being 200 feet away from the store, the merchandising store that sells rugs. They don't have to be that. They don't. If the store that sells the rugs doesn't want them on their property, that's fine. But do they have control over? They can't be on the property next door to them. Yes, they would if you want to do that way. But right now, the food truck people have that restrictions, and these other vendors don't. And that's all I'm trying to do here. Put everybody on the same playing field. That's the reason this section of this ordinance needs to be taken out so that the restaurants don't have a better playing field than what the rest of the vendors do. And that's why it needs to be removed. And then if you want to eliminate all non-structured vendors from coming into town, go to town, write you an ordinance up. But this ordinance needs to be, this section of this ordinance needs to be removed to put everybody on the same playing field and be fair to everybody.
Alderman Collins.
So let me be clear. I think that this shouldn't pass right now. I don't think that it shouldn't be addressed. I do. I just think it needs to be addressed holistically instead of let's remove this 200 feet ordinance right now. I think we need to address the bigger problem, which is when are food trucks allowed? When are any transient vendors? Bringing the Girl Scouts in is a little different, but I think that we should have it set up for those types of businesses, have a food truck garden, have a farmer's market. I think those are completely perfect. I just think that we need to have a business license for that type of business rather than anybody from St. Louis can drive their food truck down on shootout weekend and park it in front of Chevy's and sell pizzas for that weekend and hurt Chevy's business and then go back to St. Louis and not pay a single penny in their Osage Beach sales tax and then bring a different food truck down next year, all while Chevy's is being hurt by that. That's all that I'm saying. I agree with you that it needs to be a bigger fix. I just don't think that for now we should repeal this until we have a better solution in place.
Alderman Morose.
First of all, I hear what you're saying. I can't tell you how many hours that we've discussed this topic long before you were here.
Right.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I mean, I'm just saying we've crossed Ts and dotted Is. The 200 feet, and to me, yes, if I had a business, but if I also think it's only fair if there's a neighbor there, that it should be in writing that that neighbor is complying, okay, it's fine for this food truck to be here, I will allow it. I think it should be amiable, you know, rather than, well, hey, I'm going to do it because I'm within that so many regards. But I checked on, which we did in the past, our adjacent cities, Lebanon and Eldon and Lake Ozark and Kansas City and St. Louis, and there was nothing mentioned about 200 feet. And they also, though, said they must have, which I know we have to require, a health inspection on their truck, and provided that they've got a sink and they've got this and they've got that, according to the State Department of Health. And then also having the agreement with the neighbor, and that was written out in several times of the adjacent neighbor. But that's all I got to say. Thank you.
All right, any comments or questions, any further? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve first reading?
So moved.
Alderman Burrell, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, let's do roll call vote, please.
Alderman Morose?
Yes.
Alderman Osteen?
Yes.
Alderman Collins?
No.
Alderman Rucker?
Yes.
Alderman Varela?
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman?
All right, first reading passes. Bill 25-81. Next, we have Bill 25-82, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute supplemental agreement number 4 for a time extension with Missouri Highways Transportation Commission Enhancement Fund for the Highway 42 TAP Grant ADA project. First reading, City Administrator Devin Lake.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board. The state has extended our grant timeline for the Highway 42 TAP grant. And in order to coincide with that, our engineering services contract also has to be extended. This new agreement with the state says that we will award to a contractor by March 1st of 2026. And we will do everything we can to meet that deadline. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Comments or questions from the board? Alderman Osteen.
This is the TAP grant for the sidewalks, correct?
Correct.
I thought we'd already gotten all the easements and right-of-ways verified.
We're working on the last, I think it's just one, maybe two. But we are making headway on it. But there's one or two property owners that really not much progress have been made one way or another. And I finally made contact with one of their attorneys, and that's at least got the conversation moving in a positive direction.
Okay. I just need clarification because I could have sworn when Mike Welty was here as our assistant city administrator that we'd already had the assurances that the right-of-way
Yes.
and everything had been wrapped up.
Well, I will say
He was
this,
wrong.
real
Apparently he
quick.
was
I will
wrong.
say this, that we can all thank our city administrator for saving this TAP grant. So this was something that probably, there was several things that fell through the cracks that should not have fallen through the cracks, and she basically saved this. So thank you, city administrator. So that's a short way of answering a lot of questions you may have.
Yes.
All right.
I get it.
Any other comments or questions? All right. Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve first reading?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Rucker, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Morose, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Bill 25-82 passes. Next, we have Bill 25-83, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending Chapter 125, Human Resource Systems, Personnel Rules and Regulations, Section 125.240, Other Employee Benefits as set forth. First reading. Assistant City Administrator April White, please.
Yes, Mayor, members of the board, these changes just align the code with our current practice that was passed in previous budget years. Just kind of a cleanup is all this is.
All right, comments from the board? Questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve first reading?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Rucker, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Barella. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, first reading, Bill 25-83 passes. Next, we have Bill 25-84, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute supplemental amendment number 1 for a time extension with the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission to the state grant airport master plan and airport layout. This is asking for a first and second reader, and you're so happy Alderman Hoffman's not here.
I actually told him when he came in and told him we were doing this.
Okay.
So MoDOT contacted me whenever I was requesting reimbursement for the master plan and told me that the grant for Lacey Fine was out of date. It had expired as of December 31st of 24. So they have extended it to December 31st of 26. I'm asking for a first and second reading because we have $230,000 that we are awaiting reimbursement for based on that master plan work that CMT has done for us. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Again, thank you, City Administrator. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve first reading?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Collins, second Alderman Rucker. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, second reading, same bill, ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute supplemental amendment number 1 for a time extension with Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission to the state grant airport master plan and airport layout. Seeing no other further comments or questions, do I have a motion to approve second reading?
So moved.
Alderman Barella, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Morose, roll call, please.
Alderman Osteen?
Yes.
Alderman Morose?
Yes.
Alderman Collins?
Yes.
Alderman Rucker?
Yes.
Alderman Barella?
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman?
All right, Bill 25-84, second reading passes. Next, we have a motion to approve the purchase of a 2025 F-150 4x4 Super Crew from Corin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for an amount not to exceed $46,268 and dispose of existing 215 F-150 Public Works truck. Public Works Director Jeff Fisher.
Thank you, Mayor. This was an item budgeted for this year. The item is, the asset's 10 years old, as you can see. This is the truck assigned to the construction inspector, and based on, it is a state bid contract, and we looked at 3 different trucks. This was what we considered the best value buy, considering its price and its potential resale when the time comes.
All right. Alderman Osteen.
So just to clarify, this vehicle was highlighted on our vehicle replacement program as part of the 2025 budget?
It was budgeted for 2025. I can't tell you if the justification included a replacement program.
Okay. And the reason is because our guidelines on the vehicle replacement program are 10 years or 100,000 miles. So is the only reason we are highlighting this one is because it's reached the 10-year mark?
I believe that's why it was budgeted.
But the mileage on it is
I don't recall.
48,000?
Okay.
So the vehicle replacement program, that's what I thought. I thought the vehicle replacement program is just a guideline. So I'm just, and this goes back to what I've said, gentlemen, about the blue sheets. More information on it's because this was budgeted and singled out based on age or mileage. Are there issues with it to basically justify the replacement? Just giving us more information other than here's a vehicle I want to replace.
Okay.
So that's all.
Any other comments? Alderman Rucker.
I believe this had mechanical issues.
Pardon me?
I believe this had mechanical issues. I thought it was frame. This was the one that had a frame problem. But I believe there's a reason it made it past
I remember
that
framing
budget
issue with
process
something,
when we
yes.
were extremely more stringent than what we should be. But yes, and Jeff just wasn't here at that time, but There was a good reason.
So it wasn't necessarily age or mileage, it goes back to their vehicle issues with the framing itself. And I kind of remember this conversation.
There was
Kevin.
something, I
Yeah.
just can't put my finger on it, but there was a mechanical reason.
But once again, background information for the board to justify the purchase would be
Okay.
appreciated.
Any other comments or questions? Alderman Umbrella.
I would just like to know a little bit more too. I see that it meets the age, but 42,000 miles isn't a lot. Or if there's just a better one that could be replaced instead of this one, or, you know, what is the reason for this one?
Anyone else? Alderman Collins.
Do we have any other reasoning why we're replacing this one right now?
I wasn't here when it was budgeted, so I didn't make the justification,
Okay.
the business case for it. It's good to hear that you're referencing vehicle and equipment replacement program. We will be bringing something to you after city administrator gets a chance to look at it. It'll probably be a little bit, it'll be not as simple as 100,000 or whatever miles, but it'll be a complete vehicle and equipment replacement program so that you can reference that in the future.
So can we postpone this until a later date so we can determine why this vehicle needs to be replaced or if it even does?
Whatever you'd like to do, of course. I will just say 10 years is a long time to hold on to a truck, even if it's only got 30,000 miles on it.
Mayor, can I clarify something?
Alderman Rucker?
Well, I would move forward with approving this as a first reading to purchase
It's
the
a
other
motion.
truck.
It's a motion.
Or motion, excuse me. I would move forward with approving the purchase of it. And as far as what truck gets replaced, I mean, there's plenty there to replace. And I think we should move forward. It was budgeted, it was approved. And as far as which truck gets replaced, I think that can be something that can be a decision that be made at a future point. But we need to move forward and replace this, get this fleet updated.
Alderman Osteen.
Yes, in Jeff's defense, and just to clarify, I do believe that there are conversations regarding this vehicle that did not meet the vehicle replacement program as far as age or mileage, which is just a framework. But I do remember conversations that this one had framing. There was issues with the frame, which is why it was budgeted and approved. But once again, getting that background information would help clarify this for all of the aldermen.
Can I clarify something real quick?
I'm sorry?
Can I clarify something?
Sure,
real quick?
sure.
In the original budget, this truck was to be given to the construction inspector, which was not a position that was originally in our plan. So it was never planned to surplus anything. It was a new purchase of a new truck to add to the fleet. He's just decided to surplus one that needs to be surplused.
What was the truck with the frame issues? I'm confused.
I think we move forward and buy this truck.
All right, we have a motion. Alderman Rucker, did you want to make a motion to approve?
Yes, motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Alderman Morose, let's do a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Osteen?
No.
No.
Alderman Rose?
Yes.
Alderman Collins?
No.
Alderman Rucker?
Yes.
Alderman Varela? No.
Here we go.
Fails.
All right, motion fails.
It doesn't mean we can't revisit this. Just let's get some more information
Should
on.
have just tabled it.
We should have just tabled it, correct?
All right, next item. Motion to direct park staff to proceed with research and community outreach to determine playground equipment improvements at Phoenix Park. Eric Gregory, please.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the board. As many of you will recall, I sent the board an email on August 14th and basically detailing a request to move forward with possibly adding a new playground to Phoenix Park. As you'll recall, $275,000 were allocated for the road paving project in City Park down to the dog park and the maintenance shop. Without going into detail, there was significant cost savings with that. And speaking to April and Devin, I'd like to use $200,000 we set as a budget from the project to purchase a new playground at Phoenix Park and replace the one we had to remove 3 years ago. Unfortunately, the ages 5 to 12 playground 3 years ago was installed in 1997, and the company was out of business. We couldn't get replacement parts anymore. And the existing playground over there is for children under 5. And we've had a lot of complaints in the last few years that was everybody's favorite playground. I think Cole can probably chime in on this, that being a Little League parent and talking to other parents, we really need another playground there. This does follow the master plan recommendation and as part of a 3-phase improvement process, and which I want to start with the playground and then pavilion and then splash pad in that order. I think this would be a great addition to Phoenix Park. Of the two parks, it needs more improvements and more work. And unfortunately, we have to keep the $200,000 budget, we have to sacrifice one of the capital budget items that's on this year's budget, which was $5,000 for a new flagpole for City Park. But I happily will sacrifice that for a new playground. Basically, I'm just looking for the board's approval to move forward with this. As part of the process, we'll accept bids from playground companies, and then myself and a committee will sit down and pick out 3 of the best ones and open it up for public input and allow the public to choose what playground it is. And just asking for a motion to direct park staff to proceed. Happy to answer any questions. I will tell you the $200,000 budget, unfortunately, it will not be a 100% inclusive playground. It will have inclusive features, but poured in place, it will be a nice middle-of-the-road playground that we can supplement and add to in the future. It's very much needed, but happy to answer any questions.
All right, comments from the board. Alderman Osteen.
I was a little confused on the motion. Basically, you're just asking for approval just to research a proposed budget item, correct?
That is correct.
And get community input.
I think that's a
Community
good
input,
idea.
yes. You know what, I'm 52, I don't have kids, and I can pick out a cool playground, but, I'd rather have parents and community input, the people that are going to be using it, so.
I just didn't think you needed to have approval from the board just to research or look at options to improve our parks. At no cost to the board, so I was just confused on why there was a motion for this.
April and Devin and I discussed it and decided to make sure for clarity that you knew what I was doing.
Okay.
Because it wasn't a budgeted item for fiscal year '25.
We're using funding from a park improvement project that has already.
But the motion is not requiring any funding, period. It's just asking for permission.
Kind of is.
So once again, I'm confused by the motion then. I thought it was strictly just to give the green light for research and community outreach.
April or Devin, you want to clarify, please?
We just didn't want Eric to go through all this work to find a playground and bring it to you just to shoot it down because it wasn't a budgeted item. So in order to give you guys warning ahead of time, we wanted to give you guys the opportunity to make the motion to tell him to proceed.
And since he wants to get public input, we don't want to ask for public input and they get excited and they choose a playground and then we bring it to the board and they say, never mind, we're not going to approve this purchase. So just didn't want to get the cart before the horse.
So we're going to approve a dollar amount to a playground for which we have no bids or fees or costs?
I do.
Okay.
Not final yet.
I think legally what you're doing is you're approving this direction before staff proceeds. Obviously, the money's budgeted. The board would still have to approve spending the money via motion or via ordinance if it's a contract. But we talked about it, and it's a make sure the board completely on board with bought into this plan before we do before Eric does a bunch of work to do all of that. And I will add, as a parent of Little League children, the parents at Little League complain about the lack of this playground nonstop every time. It is the fact that we've only got a little kid playground. And when I say big kids, I'm talking about like 6, 7-year-olds will be on top of the tunnels, like standing on top of the roof of it, because they can get there pretty easily, and it's been a sore subject for many years since the old one was taken out.
I will add that this playground will be ages 5 to 12, and to save on costs, we are going to retain the existing swings. They're old, but they're still serviceable. And again, if approved, I want to supplement what features the playground has in the future, because we can always add to it and expand it. There's a large footprint that we have to work with.
I'm still confused in this process. So if we were to approve this motion, how come we're not also approving a reallocation of funds from a different project that would cover the cost of this expense? Because the blue sheet specifically states that the funds for this would be reallocated from a different fund. So in this process, why aren't we doing that all in one?
It's not being reallocated from a different fund. It's out of park improvements. This is just leftover money from the Hatchery Road project.
So it's just leftover money. So we don't need to have anything in writing stating that the funds for this project are coming from surplus funds from this. I'm just confused on the process. I feel like we're missing some steps here.
Cole, you want to try?
Yeah, so the budget line item is park improvements. The Hatchery Road was a park improvement, a playground would be park improvements. This is getting board buy-in to, but nobody discussed, when you budgeted this amount, $479,000, a playground was nowhere in anyone's concept of what that $479,000 was supposed to go to. So there's no budget amendment, because the budget actually does cover what we're doing or what we're proposing to do, but since it's not what we discussed, we didn't want to surprise the board after we've done all this outreach, or have you be surprised by the outreach, since it's not previously been discussed or addressed or given the board's blessing. So but the board there, I mean, as long as it comes in within budget, there's no budget amendment coming. It will just be a motion to approve the purchase, or if there's a contract, an ordinance to approve the contract. But
I'm all for it. I just feel like we're doing something wrong. We're missing some steps, but that's just me personally.
we're being extra careful, actually. We're adding an extra step, which is why it feels, I think, a little funny.
Okay.
You save money on one expense that month, so you want to spend it on something else. That's all on Bob. Alderman Rucker.
I disagree, Cole. Number one, this is a budgeted line item for Hatchery Road. That's what it says in the budget. It's not for playground approval. It's not for parks approval. It's for Hatchery Road. It's what it says. It's for the road in the park. It's a line item. That's the first thing. So it's not like it's you had it for, maybe it's parks improvement in general, but the line item is for the road down there. That's the first thing. Second thing is just because something came in under budget doesn't mean that that department has that money to spend it somewhere within that department. That's not been the practice of what we've done in the past. If somebody's within a department, their line item or something they budgeted comes in under budget, that money just goes back to the pot that we reallocate next year when it comes time for the overall budget. That's what we need to do here. I'm not opposed to the playground. I wish the playground opportunity would have been given to us when we had our spreadsheet and we went through our budget thing last year, that we could have possibly put a budget, bought a playground for a couple $100,000. But the items that we had in the budget workshop was for the lowest item we had for anything including the playground was we had $1 million for that was pavilion, excuse me. The playground was $500 and some odd $1,000. We didn't have an opportunity to budget a couple $100,000 playground. I'm in favor of the playground. I'm not in favor of doing it this way. The money that came is available now because of an item that was under budget. That just goes in the pot, and we reallocate that next year. The only way I support of doing something in the middle of the year with buying something or spending money on an unbudgeted item is if it's something that we need to have for the necessity to operate and run the city emergency repairs or maintenance items or things like that. This item does not fall into that category as far as I'm concerned. I support the playground, but not this way. And I do appreciate the fact that before the staff goes out to the public and starts getting opinions, that they come to the board. I totally agree with that, and I think that's appropriate. I would be in favor of approving or giving my okey dokey or whatever to letting that process that was discussed be done, looking towards 2026 budget, not this budget. Thank you.
April, please.
Just to be clear, though, that line item is park improvements. It's not Hatchery Road. Hatchery Road, the park bathrooms, the flagpole, all of that is included in that. I mean, sometimes we do have line items that are specific to a project, but this particular one is not. It's called park improvements. And then when you look in the budget, you can see the capital line items that were allocated there, which I think this year was the park bathrooms, that flagpole, and the Hatchery Road. So this would just be, I mean, yeah, it was not specified as the playground. So with the cost savings, this is what we're proposing, thinking outside the box, bringing it to the board, obviously, because it wasn't a budgeted item for direction. And then ultimately, if you were to pass this motion, he were to go to the public, get their opinion, then we would bring it back to the board for the ultimate purchase of the playground, so.
You go to the list at the very front of the budget of all the
Alderman
capital
Rucker.
items.
Alderman Rucker, we're going to do this in an orderly fashion, please.
Yeah, it's listed there. I mean, it's
Yes.
not listed there, but Hatchery Road is one of those for that line item, but that line item is not exclusively for.
Spelled out right there.
Can I add one more thing, Mayor?
Yes, please, Eric.
Not to get ahead of myself, but I have reached out to several playground companies just to save time. Some of them I've worked with in the past, and there's one, I'm not saying that this will be the choice, but they're a very aggressive, very well-known playground company, and there is a grant available that will be significant cost savings. So there's a very good chance if we choose them, and I'm not saying we will, that it will be much less than $200,000. Not to sway the board's decision, but just throwing that in there.
Alderman Osteen.
All right, so I've got a question in general to the board and to Eric as well. I believe that the board as a whole, we're all in favor of the playground. I think we are all opposed, though, to the process and how we're going about this. So I'm not sure what is the midpoint or the solution for us to give you the green light to say, yes, get those bids, do the public outreach without us basically automatically tying $200,000 to that process. I'm not sure how we would do that.
This motion is that process. This motion is you
We're
you
giving
blessing
direction
us.
with a $200,000 price tag to it.
But it's, no, it doesn't, you're not spending any money today.
All right,
You're just blessing staff going forward with getting
I
bids
asked
to
this
spend
question
money.
earlier, and basically I was said, yes, we are approving the $200,000
No.
associated with this because you wanted the board's buy-in before he went out there and did the work.
We're asking the board's buy-in to do the work to bring you bids to spend the 200, but we're
I've
not
asked this
asking.
question, and I said, if it costs us nothing for him to go out there and just get public outreach and get bids, I said this to start my very first comment. And I was told, no, we want you to get the buy-in from the board that we're willing to spend this $200,000 before he goes through the process of doing that.
He
Correct?
can do that. But we thought it was better to come to the board and get the board's blessing before he did it all, only to find out the board's opposed to it.
Alderman Collins.
So can we pass this motion and figure out how we'll pay for this playground later?
Yes.
Perfect.
Any other comments or questions?
I'm on board to motion to move forward.
We have a motion from Alderman Rell. Do we have a second?
Second.
Alderman Collins. Roll call vote, please.
Okay.
Alderman Rucker.
Repeat the motion, please.
The motion is to direct staff to proceed with the research and community outreach to determine playground equipment improvements at Phoenix Park.
Approved.
Alderman Osteen?
Apparently I was hallucinating earlier because I could have sworn I was told that we are also approving the money associated with this project. I'm going to go ahead and say yes, but I think we've got some back of house discussions regarding this matter moving forward.
Alderman Morose?
Yes.
Alderman Morella?
Yes.
Sorry, that was kind of slurred. I feel like I was having a stroke. Alderman Collins?
Yes.
And Alderman Hoffman.
All right, motion is approved. Next, we're going to move on to staff communication. We'll start with City Administrator Devin Lake, please.
Good evening. I just have a few items. First, I want to introduce Eric Hundel. He's our new Marketing and Development Director. I've introduced you to some of the board members, but we welcome him. This is his third day, so we're happy to have him. Holly handed out at each year's Faces a budget handout talking about the dates and some calendar stuff, so hopefully that will help you guys with the budget process and dates associated with that. And then lastly, I want to say how great the Veterans Memorial looks outside. It's beautiful. It's coming together awesome. So I'm very thankful for that. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you very much. April White, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to congratulate HR Coordinator Abby Barrett. She had her baby last week, Sweet Caroline, and then congratulate Grandma Tara also.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. City Attorney, no, let's go City Clerk, right?
Yeah, city clerk doesn't have anything except happy.
Except
Happy about the grandbaby.
City Attorney Cole Bradbury.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. I want to thank Corporal Chapman and Sergeant Shelton for a couple weeks ago. I had my son's birthday party at a local business, and while we were there, a gentleman was, I think Sergeant Chapman said, speaking in cursive and passed out on the front step of this business that did not sell alcohol, so Lord knows where he got it. But they came and were able to get him in the ambulance along with EMTs and hopefully feeling better. But thankfully, my kids got to see the police and did not realize what was going on at this very small child's birthday party. But just wanted to say thank you to them. So that's all I've got.
Chief Davis.
Just the shootout Labor Day went off uneventful, and just remind everybody we got Bike Fest next week, so there'll be thousands of bikes in town. So when you're out and about, watch out for them.
Very good. All right, Gregory, you got anything else tonight?
Yeah, very quickly, we are hosting Lake Regional event at the City Park at the Pond Pavilion this Saturday at 9 a.m. And it's a memorial butterfly release in honor for those loved ones who have passed on. There'll be a lot of people there and speeches. I think there's some poetry, and so if you're interested in going to that and being part of it, come on out to City Park at 9 a.m. And then we have the rummage sale on September 20th. If you're interested in being a vendor, give us a call or check the city website or Parks and Facebook page. And then the World Bird Sanctuary Raptor Program on September 28th. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Ty Dinsdale, Airport.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, members of the board. We are having a pre-construction meeting for the Lacey Fine Runway project, finally. Next week, we'll have the pre-construction meeting. Contractor would like to get started the week after that, so that project is finally moving forward. Thank goodness, and hope for good weather to finish that up. Alderman Collins, I feel like I didn't answer your question very well when you asked how often fuel trucks need to be replaced. 15 to 20 years is an easy lifespan on those vehicles. A brand new one, I would expect at least 30 years out of one. So,
Thank you.
yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Fisher, you got anything?
Capital Paving doing the overlays this week and up to the middle of next week, and then those roads will be striped soon after. And then Vance Brothers is the other contractor. They will start in the middle of September and be done by October 3rd. They will be putting the surface on OB Parkway and Armory and Chapel. So by the October 3rd, we will be finished. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Eric Hundelt, Marketing Director. Do you have anything for us tonight?
Just happy to be here after 3 days.
Thank you. All right, Alderman Collins?
I just want to say welcome to Eric. I'm no longer the newbie. With that, yeah, that's all.
All right, Alderman Morose.
Yeah, ditto, welcome. And commenting about the shootout, honestly, I just thought it was the most organized, successful event that our area has seen in many years. And kudos to the police department and everyone that organizers, and they were short of volunteers for sure, but it went very, very well. And also to Dog Days for hosting it. It was awesome. And also the, all right, now I've just lost it. There was something else that's coming up. Maybe I'll think about it.
Bike Fest.
Bike Fest is coming up. Yes. Now, oh, I know. The outside, our Veterans Memorial. My God, it's looking fantastic. Yes. Hallelujah. That's it.
All right, Alderman Osteen.
First of all, I apologize for being combative tonight with my comments. I feel in the past year we've made some, I don't want to say confusing, but questionable changes to some of our policies and procedures as we sit on the dais trying to approve different motions or ordinances, et cetera. I think some people will agree with me on that. It's just we've added some different layers of processes, et cetera, so that's why I tend to question them quite a bit. Other than that, count me in for the rummage sale. If none of you have attended, I'm always the one who provides the music because I'm the only vendor that brings a speaker and everybody gets to listen to what I want to play for the day. So that's it.
All right. Alderman Barella.
I just want to thank Ty and Eric for your presentations, and to Eric and the staff for bringing us along like we're always asking you to do. So that was a perfect example with the parks that Eric's going to be moving forward. I think that's what we're always asking, so thank you for that. Other than that, Wingfest is next Wednesday, start of Bike Fest, and although that's held at the Regalia, the proceeds for that event go to Community Foundation. They also go to the Firefighters Benevolent Fund. Last year we gave them to Officer Carson. So all around, it's just a good community event. I hope anybody wants to attend can from 5:30 to 7:30, and just benefits our lake area.
All right. Alderman Ruckert.
Yes, looking forward to MML. Thanks, Rebecca, for sending me what your classes are, and I sent you what mine are. At least we know what some of us, and if the rest have opportunity to do that, so we can make sure we have somebody in each of the classes. That'd be nice. The other thing I have to announce is I want to thank the Osage Beach Fire Protection District Benevolence Memorial Fund. The Benevolence Fund, or Benevolence Association, I guess I should say, is what she was just talking about that they give money to, which is for the firefighters, fallen firefighters, and those kind of situations. This year, at the celebration, which will be held October 4th, 7 o'clock at night up at Kingdom City, and then 10:30 in the morning on October 5th. That morning will be the memorial services as well, where each year they pay tribute to the unfortunate fallen firefighters that have died in the line of duty. And they will have a special ceremony for that. They also have a situation where where you can buy bricks and put bricks similar to what we have out here, or put names on the walls for those folks that you would like to pay tribute to. The Osage Beach Benevolence Fund this year has got Mr. Mike. Some of these names may not mean much to those, but for the folks that have been around for a while, they'll know these names. There's 4 people that are being honored for past firefighters that have passed in years past. One of them is Mike Walden, Dave Mathis, Rick Smith, and Al Price. Al was a long time ago. I would also like to personally thank them because I'm obviously still alive, but they have placed a brick in my memory for the years of service I had with the fire district, and I won't be honored by name or anything, but my name is on a brick up there in thanks for the years of service. So I thank them for doing that for me on my behalf. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I have a few things. I'm going to echo some of you. First and foremost, Alderman Rose, I could not agree more about the shootout. The shootout was just a wonderful event for the city of Osage Beach. I was happy to see Captain Ron's also had a positive event on that side of the lake, but I think they can work together in harmony the next several years, and more people come down here. And we sold 120 cheese trays in like 3 hours on the back of our jet ski. We could have sold 320. So it was just a great event, and thank you to the police. And we had some, actually some off-duty police look at the condos. And that event's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And when they have the addition of the parking garage, 800 more places to park, that's going to help that as well. Also, Eric Gregory, the Parks Department, one of the things that I've ran on and continue to run on is things that we can do, bringing tourism here, but also things for our locals to do. And I could not agree more with putting a playground at Peony Park. I mean, if there's a way that we can save some money someplace, and if you can work it out legally and structurally that we can spend that money for our citizens of Osage Beach and the kids, I think that would be wonderful for our city. So I appreciate you looking at different avenues to do that. Also want to send out kudos to Devon Lake. You guys may not realize it, when I say guys, the TAP grant extension project, the state grant for the airport master plan, those are both in jeopardy of being lost. And they're talking about $250,000 for one and several, 1.3 I think for the other one. That it's funds that we could have just lost because of things that had happened in the past. But she fought for both of those and saved the city a bunch of money. So thank you very much for doing that, Devin. Eric Hundell, can look forward to it. Introduce yourself afterwards. I think he's going to bring a lot to the city and introduce us to some folks. I think he's going to do a nice job of selling the city. And if you have some suggestions, I look forward to taking him with some meetings. I think he's going to do a good job for us. Officer Wright, 5 years, congratulations. Appreciate your time on the force. Thank you, Chief, for bringing that tonight. And the Veterans Memorial, I tell you what, that was a long time coming. I talked to Fred Catcutt tonight out front this afternoon, looking at it, and you'll see the monuments are now out there. The flags are out there. Yes, the bricks are being sold. He asked me about doing a ribbon cutting on 11/11, which is Veterans Day, at 11 o'clock. That's a Tuesday. The city of Osage Beach is off work that day and the day before that. And so, well, I know the people of Osage Beach would like to be there, but you know what? They're doing it for a reason. That is a day that a lot of people, veterans, can be here. So they are tentatively planning 11/11 at 11 o'clock for ribbon cutting out front. But that's just looking beautiful. So thank you to the board and the Elks Lodge for making that happen. And the last thing I have is kind of on the same note. Myself, Alderman Hoffman, Cole Bradbury, and Kerry Patterson, team of 4 are looking forward to playing in the Safety Net Golf Tournament this Sunday at Osage National. Safety Net provides a lot of funds to officers that have fallen, and Officer Carson, actually, her family benefited from that. So I think there's still a place, probably you can still golf in it, I'm guessing. Chief, do you know?
I haven't heard.
Okay, but Osage National this Sunday, it looks like a heck of an event if you're interested at all, if you want to donate something, but just a great organization. So we look forward to representing the city of Osage Beach out there, and we'll see how all that turns out. All right. If there's nothing else to say, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's right. We need to go into executive session. I got to read something. I cannot memorize this. Almost forgot we're going to go into executive session, so notice is given that the agenda includes a roll call vote to close the meeting as allowed by RESMO section 610.021, legal actions, causes of action, or litigation involving a public governmental body, and any confidential or privileged communications between a public governmental body or its representatives and its attorneys. So do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Alderman Collins. Do I have a second? Second. Alderman Barella. Do we need a roll call on this? Yeah, roll call, please.
Alderman Hoffman. Alderman Barella.
Yes.
Alderman Collins.
Yes.
Alderman Rucker.
Yes.
Alderman Osteen.
No.
Alderman Morose.
Yes.
Doesn't mean anything, we have to go.
Do you know what I have to do to amend it?
Yes, I'll change it to yes.
Meeting is adjourned to move into executive session.